The way we crop our photos in design can make a difference between good design and a high-impact design. Cropping can also take an ordinary photo and make it have high impact. So I wanted to play around with some different cropping options so I can kind of show you the way that cropping really can change an ad layout. So I have one right here for kind of a fake little ad nonprofit. So let's go ahead, and I went to my frames section, and I'm going to drag in a few of these and play around with some different cropping options. So I'm going to scroll down and go to perhaps a circle. Let's just do a circle and kind of see how that looks and play around with it. I have a few photos I've downloaded that I thought would work out really well. So this is kind of our cropped photo. Let me double click on it and see. It's already kind of nicely cropped within that circle. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm also going to send this in the background as a background layer. Kind of see what works here. Now I almost wonder if multiple photos might do a better job. So let me go ahead and copy this circle frame. I'm going to drag another photo in there. So let's do these hands. Sometimes multiple photos work better than a single photo to kind of tell a story. Let's actually bring this a little bit forward so that it overtakes this portion. Let's double click and move this a little bit in. And it's always good to zoom in on photography. It kind of gives you a better emotional connection, especially when it comes to faces. So we can probably even zoom in more on this face and have it a little bit to the right since the circle's cut off a little bit here. And kind of see how that's framed. So let's play around with some different options. Let's delete these entirely and see what other kind of cropping we can come up with. Let's just load an image in. So let's drag in the photo of these kids. This could be an easy cropping. Send that backwards so that red bar is above it. And right now we really need to zoom in a little bit more on the subject's faces. So let's do that. Double click. I really like this right here. So cropping and then making it larger. And so that's an option as well. You can turn this a little bit to kind of have more of an angle. Get a little bit smaller. There's an option as well. We can also try a collage. So let's go ahead and go to our elements. Go up to collage or to grids, excuse me. And let's load in something, not too many, maybe 3 is a max. 3 is a max. And let's go ahead and reduce this right here. Send it backward and let's drag in our photos. I think I have 3 photos that might work well for this layout. Let's do our hands. Let's do our boy. Or actually, this might work better here. And I'm just dragging and dropping to find the best combination of photography. So I feel like multiple images is working out for this particular ad. And I can drag this around, make it lower if I want to have the photos be a bigger portion. Do that, make this go off the edge, bleed off the edge. So let's continue to try some more frames. So I'm going to go to my elements and frames. And let me drag this one. This has a nice kind of white border around it. And you can actually change that border color if you wanted to, match the red. But I kind of like this off-white. So we're going to go ahead and drag a new photo that I found. Kind of a black and white, way more dramatic. This might be a little too dramatic for the ad. But I do like the framing of it. I almost wonder if we could do multiple images here. So let's see. Maybe a happy image to counter the more dramatic image up top. So this could also be an option, different cropping ideas. And let's see if we can make this even bigger and more dramatic. I wonder if we can make this smaller. Let's double click and zoom in even more on that piece of bread that's shaped like a heart. And let's change the orientation of all this. And let's make this a left alignment. And let's go ahead and ungroup these elements so we can start to change the alignment a little bit on all of these. So we'll figure that out. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's arrange and send this to the back. Let's actually change this so that this is now down toward the bottom. That'll give us more of a chance for the photo to kind of be the first thing they see. I'm going to ungroup that element so I'll be able to make this smaller. There we go. Bring that down to the bottom. And maybe we can have our date. Or actually, you know what we could do? Let's bring this, right now that photo's on the top layer, so let's bring this forward. This main headline, let's bring it up top. Let's bring in the headline and the photo together. And let's make this photo a little bigger because I don't think it's big enough to be seen to have much of an impact. So you can start to kind of see a good layout coming together. Let's make that 2 lines and tuck that right underneath. And we can actually make this more dramatic and bring this photo down a little bit. We can even angle this photo. We can crop it, double click. It's already kind of cropped a little bit. We can angle a little bit, maybe make it a little bigger. That'll give us a chance to have the second photo. And we could even try a different frame for that. So let's do that. Let's just play around with frames. Let's try to do a circle. Just a plain circle. Actually, one with a border would be nice. There we go, perfect. That kind of tucks nicely right here with the headline and fits very well. So let's grab our other photo. Let's zoom in so people can see what it is. So it's amazing what you can do just in a few minutes with Canva. Let's go drag this down. Go ahead and bring this in. And there you have it. We can play around a little bit more, but it's a good start. We could probably put this on a couple of different lines maybe. And you have this nice left alignment of the text all the way down. Could shift this photo over if it's going to let me. I guess that's where it's cropped. So we may be a little bit limited with photo choice. But that's why you can play around with different options. Double click. I think that one's probably the one. And I like this right here. Let's turn this text to match the frame. Perfect. So you can continue, you can see all the different options you can have with cropping and photography, and making sure you zoom in to get an emotional impact if that's what you're going for. Sometimes using multiple photos is beneficial as opposed to using one. Sometimes one is all you need. If we delete this image and delete the element, it's going to give us more options to maybe drag this down, just like that. So feel free to play around in Canva with some of these different photo cropping options.